very first thing I did after being reborn was aggressively skip classes to work out. Even when faced with my teacher's warnings of failing and a breakup with my girlfriend Lu Ruyen, I remained completely unfazed. Because, having lived a second life, I know that in exactly 1 month, various devil fruits will spawn all over the world. By then, anyone who obtains a devil fruit will gain supernatural powers. In my past life, even though I acquired such abilities, my fruit's weak power and my terrible physical condition led to my tragic death in the zombie horde. Now that I've been reborn, I naturally have to use my foresight advantage to seize every available resource. From what I remember, there was a specific devil fruit in my past life that spawned in a fruit shop near the campus named You're So Beautiful. However, I don't know the exact time this fruit will appear. Therefore, ever since my rebirth, I've come to this fruit shop every day to buy some fruits, taking the chance to check if that devil fruit has shown up yet. Walking into the shop, I took my usual stroll around, examining every single fruit. When I reached the peach section, 2 short purple stems suddenly caught my attention. Pushing aside the pile of peaches covering it, the true form attached to these purple stems was fully exposed before my eyes. That's right, it looks exactly like the fruit from my memory. This is the devil fruit of Emperor Kaido from the One Piece world. According to reports from my past life, this was the strongest fruit with a known location. Excellent. I was overjoyed, paid for it, and grabbed a bag of fruit. Just as I walked out of the store, a rather sturdy middle-aged man bumped right into me. Immediately, his face aligned with a memory from my past life. He was the one who ate the Azure dragon fruit in my previous life. I quietly counted my blessings. If I had been even a second later, the Azure dragon fruit would have been bought by this guy. Upon returning to my dorm, I didn't hesitate anymore. I picked up the fruit and took a massive bite. Blurg. It tasted like a garbage bin mixed with a septic tank, like dipping a rancid rag into it and shoving it in my mouth. It was so foul that I nearly puked, but I forced down the disgust and swallowed the fruit flesh. Stealing myself once more, I simply ate the remaining peel, core, leaves, and the short purple stems, swallowing them all down. After a long while, I took a deep breath. The seed of a miracle had been planted. Now I just had to wait for it to bloom. Afterward, I took out my phone and started browsing through short videos and forums. I scrolled through the major video apps and message boards for a bit and typed a specific username into the search bar. I clicked on the very first video. Hey bros, do you see this rumble fruit? I'm auctioning it off in the comments. Highest bidder takes it. Seeing this, I was incredibly tempted. Even though I had already eaten the Azure dragon fruit and couldn't consume a second one, once the apocalypse begins and everyone realizes the true value of devil fruits, a single fruit will be absolutely priceless. They'll be the ultimate bargaining chips. And even if I didn't trade it, I could give it to my parents, or let my sister eat it. Or rather, it's not entirely impossible to eat a second devil fruit yourself. It's just that it requires immense strength, extreme luck, and the right opportunity. Without leaving a comment, I directly DM'd this blonde guy whose username was Noble Boss Mao. Bro, this prop fruit is well made. Looks just like the real deal. I'll take it. I'm sure you know the people in the comments are just trolling. Name your price directly. If it's reasonable, I'll buy it right now. Bro, this is a real devil fruit. Asking for $1 million isn't too much, right? If it's real, why haven't you eaten it? If you sincerely want to sell it, give me a realistic price. Otherwise, I'm blocking you. How about 100K? 1,000 final offer. For a figure of this quality, this price is already the absolute limit. I thought I could scam a bit more cash, but $1,000 isn't bad. 1,000 works for me. It's enough to party for a while. The blonde guy quickly replied, send the money and I'll ship it to you. You're not an official store. If I send the money, what if you just run off with it? Give me an address, I'll come meet you to trade in person. The blonde guy didn't care either. In person it is. What? Is he gonna rob me or something? After getting his address, I rushed over immediately. 2.5 hours later, I arrived at the county station he mentioned. Are you the guy buying the devil fruit? Show me your payment code. Let me check the fruit first, then I'll scan it to pay. Money first, then the goods. What? Afraid I'll scam you? We're in your territory, right? The blonde guy realized he had a point. He was quite well known among the local street punks. If this guy dared to refuse payment, he could summon a mob of his bros with a single call. I took the bag from his hands and pulled the fruit out from inside. My heartbeat involuntarily sped up. This was absolutely a real devil fruit. I immediately scanned his code and paid him the $1,000. I took the fruit and headed straight back to campus. If this small county actually had a train station, I would have just boarded a train and gone straight home. On my way back, I took out my phone to scroll through videos. Suddenly, a specific news clip caught my eye. Today, numerous patients have fallen into sudden comas, and many have developed strange spots on their bodies. Experts state that this is highly likely to be a new strain of influenza. We urge everyone to wear masks and take preventative measures. Seeing this news report, my heart skipped a beat. Comas, spots appearing on people's bodies. These were all omens of the apocalypse. Getting back to my dorm room, I grabbed the luggage I'd packed earlier, ready to leave. Right at that moment, a sudden shriek echoed from behind me. Many students had collapsed on the floor, and dark spots were beginning to form on their bodies. At the very same time, an inexplicably terrifying pressure descended over everything. Everyone felt a heavy sinking feeling in their chests. And then, All the unconscious students began undergoing a horrifying mutation. Their eyes bulged grotesquely, and their nails grew into sharp, beast-like claws. Like ravenous zombies, they began pouring out of the dorm rooms. Countless students were screaming in terror, sprinting toward the exits. And it was at this very moment that I felt a power awakening from deep within my blood. That power was wildly violent and immensely strong. It was the power of the devil fruit I had eaten earlier. The power of the Azure dragon surged through my body. I threw my head back and roared, unleashing a resonant, earth-shaking dragon's roar. Azure scales erupted across my skin, horns sprouted from the top of my head, and my hands and feet morphed into razor-sharp dragon claws. My entire body was undergoing a draconian transformation. Seeing this sudden mutation, the students in the hallway were absolutely terrified, assuming I had turned into a monster just like the zombies. Now shifted into my human-beast hybrid form, my physical stats had skyrocketed. My strength, defense, speed, and regenerative abilities were all amplified to the extreme. Just then, 2 zombies lunged at me from behind with vicious snarls. I swung my dragon claws, effortlessly swatting them both away. Then, another zombie burst out of an adjacent room. I opened my mouth and unleashed a blast breath. A scorching beam of fire instantly incinerated the zombie before me. However, after releasing that blast breath, I suddenly felt my stamina plummet. A devil fruit's power is entirely fueled by physical stamina. Even if I unlock Haki in the future, utilizing it will still drain my stamina. During this first phase of the apocalypse, it's all about body forging and physical conditioning. I'm not from the Oni race like Kaido, nor do I possess his monstrous baseline physique. Therefore, even with the Azure dragon fruit, the sheer power I can output right now is nowhere near Kaido's level. I pulled a baseball bat out of my backpack. It was a custom-made, thickened, and heavily weighted bat, perfect for smashing in zombie skulls. I swung the baseball bat, coating it with crackling trails of electricity. The Azure dragon fruit grants me the ability to manipulate wind, fire, and lightning. Although the elemental output isn't as pure as a Logia type, it's more than enough to enhance my physical attacks. I went on an absolute rampage through the hallway, which quickly caught the attention of the remaining students. It was precisely because I kept killing zombies that those classmates were given a chance to catch their breath. My electricity-wrapped baseball bat was truly like a thunder bagua, devastating in every sense. The zombies in front of me were basically one shot with a single swing. But he didn't immerse himself in the thrill of the kill, but instead, while fighting, charged quickly downstairs. Right now, there are 2 urgent matters. One is to find a way home. In this life, I can't let my parents and sister be bullied again. The other is to kill 100 zombies as fast as possible. Because as long as someone solo kills 100 zombies, the God-given space will open. By then, I can redeem the cultivation method for the 3-color Haki, accelerating the improvement of my strength. The Azure dragon can fly, but with my current stamina, I definitely wouldn't last long enough to fly home. Along the way, I swung my iron bat like an Azure dragon god of war, invincible and unstoppable. A large group of students gathered behind me, wanting to follow me out of the stairwell. But what they didn't know was in this apocalypse, there's no safe place left. Hiding in the dorms with the doors closed might actually let them live a little longer. After charging out of the stairwell, my eyes narrowed. The situation downstairs was simply spine-chilling. This school used to be a mass grave. Many people died here during the war. Campus rumors said the dark aura here was thick. Residential buildings built here caused many to fall ill. Later, a feng shui master suggested building a school, using the strong masculine vitality of young people to wear away the dark energy. Now, those corpses that had become withered bones under the infection of the zombie virus all crawled out from underground, attacking every living person they saw. Someone save me. The campus was in utter chaos. Everyone was frantically running for their lives. They fled blindly, colliding with each other. But I ignored them, locked my sights on the school gates, and charged forward. Whether it was zombies along the way or skeletons, they were all blown away by a single swing of my bat. Finally, when I fought my way to the school gates, my body suddenly froze. Not just me, everyone, including the zombies, stopped in their tracks. It was as if the pause button on time had been pressed for the entire world. First divine grant, devil fruits descend. Third, God-given space opens. Then, my vision went black. When I woke up again, I was already in a strange space. There is no concept of space here, nor time. Only 2 holographic screens, one large and one small. The large screen had 4 big words, God-given store. The small screen had 4 words, personal stats panel. These things I was already deeply familiar with from my past life. They were opportunities bestowed by an unknown entity. You could redeem corresponding items using points. There were cultivation methods, combat skills, equipment, potions, etc. Because you are the first to reach 100 points from hunting zombies, you will receive a God-given reward. And because you reached 100 points within 10 minutes of the apocalypse, the tier of the God-given reward is upgraded. You may choose one of the following 3 rewards. I was stunned. This was something I hadn't experienced in my past life. Reward 1, Perfect Fruit, brings your current Azure Dragon Fruit to a perfect state, completely eliminating the side effects of the Azure Dragon Fruit. Once the side effects are eliminated, not only can you ignore the weaknesses to sea stone and seawater, but you can also eat a second devil fruit without your body exploding. Reward 2. Haki Genius. No points required for redemption, no cultivation needed. Directly awaken the 3-color Haki, and even if you don't actively train, the 3-color Haki will automatically and slowly grow. If you actively train it, then your 3-color Haki cultivation speed will double. Reward 3. Zombie Slaying Divine Weapon. You will obtain a custom type weapon. This weapon will be of the Supreme Grade Sword tier, and it will deal double damage to zombies. Fruit, Haki, Weapon. Choose one of 3. 1 and 3 can immediately boost combat power. 2 boosts combat power slowly, but has a higher ceiling. Based on my experience of obtaining the second divine grant in my past life, at least until that point, Haki had not become obsolete. As I was hesitating, I suddenly remembered Professor Kaido's golden words of wisdom. Haki is the foundation. Roger Shanks and Garp didn't have devil fruit abilities, yet they still became peerless powerhouses. Even Professor Kaido, to pursue the enhancement of his Haki, didn't fully develop his devil fruit and didn't even awaken it when fighting King Luffy. I choose 2. Haki Genius. I hesitated no longer. Abilities should be refined, not just numerous. How strong the Azure Dragon Fruit is depends on how strong my own physique is. Pushing a single devil fruit to its absolute limit is already hard enough. The next moment my mind cleared with a sudden flash of insight. I directly awakened the 3-color Haki. A thin, black layer of Haki coated my fist. This was Armament Haki. Immediately after, I spent 10 points to redeem 5 pieces of water meat. This is a food that rapidly restores stamina, allowing me to last longer in battle. And the personal panel provides not just personal stats, but also acts as a communication tool. When human civilization and infrastructure are destroyed in the apocalypse, everyone relies on the communication function of the personal panel to stay in touch. Moreover, it very thoughtfully divided it into many different channels. At this moment, quite a few people had already started chatting with each other. The spatial stasis is about to end. From now on, you can enter the God-given space with a mere thought. My vision went black again. When I woke up again, my consciousness had returned to my body, surrounded by endless zombies and panicked, bewildered students and teachers. I stuffed a piece of water meat into my mouth, and while wolfing it down, I continued my charge toward the school gates. Suddenly, I sensed something. I immediately shifted my position, and right where I had just been standing, a skeletal arm thrust out. It was Observation Haki. My lightning-wrapped baseball bat made quick work of it, obliterating the several zombies charging at me. Then, I transformed back into human form, got straight into my car, and gunned the engine, speeding out of the city. The road was filled with an endless stream of fleeing vehicles. They thought the zombie outbreak was confined to the city and wanted to escape to sparsely populated areas to prolong their lives. However, there wasn't a single inch of safe haven left in this world. The car radio was still broadcasting an emergency national alert. Citizens, do not panic. Stay at home and lock your doors and windows. Our military has been deployed, and our biolabs are developing an antidote. Please maintain order and do not cause chaos. The first wave of the zombie virus spread through the air. Those with weak constitutions would be infected, which made hospitals and nursing homes the epicenters of infection. After the apocalypse officially began, the primary mode of transmission for the virus became biting and blood transmission. Under these circumstances, the military personnel who had the best physiques had an extremely low chance of getting infected. So, in the early stages of the apocalypse, the military could still exert some effectiveness. But I knew this wouldn't last long. If the military wanted to rapidly clear out the zombies, they had to use firearms and other hot weapons. But by doing so, they wouldn't earn any points. Without points, they couldn't get stronger. As the zombies continuously grew stronger and eventually became immune to conventional firearms, the military would become increasingly powerless, and the collapse of social order would only accelerate. So, the only chance of survival now is for everyone to fight and battle the zombies. This is a survival of the fittest. I'm driving at top speed. Even if zombies block the way ahead, I choose to ruthlessly ram right through them. Suddenly, my phone rings. As soon as I answer, I hear my sister's anxious and terrified voice. Bro, where are you? There are so many zombies outside. It's terrifying. I'm fine. How are you doing? Are mom and dad okay? Mom listened to you, took time off early and brought me home. Dad is still at the hospital. He said he locked his office, so he's safe for now. Bro, you were completely right. If you hadn't forced mom to take time off, we might already be dead out there. Ao Ming had been wondering for the past month why her brother bought massive amounts of supplies every day and sent them home. They had no idea where I got all that money. Of course, I didn't have the money myself, and 1 month wasn't enough to earn it. But since the apocalypse was coming, what did I have to fear? I took out loans from every single platform. If I hadn't lacked a way to explain it to my parents, I probably would have mortgaged the house too. But with the existence of the God-given space, there was actually no need to hoard too many supplies. These were strictly for emergencies. Just as we were talking, a luxury car ahead flipped over trying to dodge a lunging zombie, causing a massive pileup. Many vehicles crashed right into it, resulting in total wreckage and casualties. I had anticipated this scene. It was too late to hit the brakes now. I grabbed my backpack and baseball bat and directly transformed into my Azure Dragon form. I smashed through the car roof and flew into the sky. Flame clouds supported my body, as the Azure Dragon soared straight up. This miraculous scene stunned everyone on the road. This caused the already severe crash to become even more disastrous. I had no time to care about the chaotic crash site below. I breached the clouds and flew straight toward my destination. Occasionally, I'd pull out a piece of water meat from my bag to replenish my stamina. I can't fly for too long right now. Finally, when all the water meat was consumed, I descended from the sky and reverted to my human form. I briefly scanned my surroundings and didn't spot any zombies. I quickly entered the God-given space, redeemed 5 more pieces of water meat, and stuffed them all into my backpack. Currently, inside the backpack, there are only these 5 pieces of water meat and a rumble fruit. After eating a piece of water meat, I didn't take flight again. Although the water meat replenishes stamina, relying on it continuously for recovery would cause my stamina to deplete much faster, and it doesn't cure mental fatigue. I opened the map and took a look. I needed to find a highway now and hijack a car. After confirming the direction, I transformed into the Azure Dragon once more. This time, I only flew for 10 minutes before spotting a highway below. Countless cars were speeding along it. I was looking for a sturdy off-road vehicle. In the traffic below, many people noticed the Azure Dragon flying in the sky. Someone immediately recorded it on their phone and uploaded it to the God-given Space's comms channel. Guys, I just saw a dragon. A massive Azure Dragon. It must be nearly 100 meters long. Below this video, comments flooded in instantly. An Azure Dragon? That has to be Kaido's Azure Dragon fruit, right? I wonder who got so lucky to obtain such a powerful mythical Zoan type. Damn it. I once obtained a rumble fruit, but I thought it was fake, so I just sold it. A real devil fruit, and the incredibly rare Logia type rumble fruit at that. And he actually sold it for just 1,000. The blonde kid probably wanted to slap himself to death right now. Above the highway from Jijo to Yujo, in my Azure Dragon form, I finally spotted a highly durable-looking off-road vehicle. Just as I was about to land and hitch a ride, I caught a glimpse of a faint light from a large tree by the highway where a dim light was flickering. My heart skipped a beat. I descended toward that large tree. As I got closer, my dragon eyes widened in shock. Heaven is on my side. At the top of that barren poplar tree, hidden amidst the dense leaves, hung a single fruit. The fruit was shaped like a corn cob, entirely golden, and covered in white curly swirl patterns. It was a fruit I had never seen before, but that was normal. There were far more devil fruits in the apocalypse than in the manga. The manga only featured a few dozen, but according to the statistics compiled in my past life, there were tens of thousands of them. Of course, the vast majority were Zoan types, and mythical Zoan types weren't that rare either. After all, there are countless myths from cultures all over the world. Every divine beast and magical monster from those legends could become a new mythical Zoan fruit. But even if mythical Zoan fruits became as common as dirt, they still fully deserve the title of the strongest. I reached out with my dragon claw, plucked the fruit, and placed it into my large backpack. Once my points reached 1,000, I could unlock a new feature in the God-given space. Devil Fruit Appraisal. This way, I could avoid eating an undesirable fruit. Of course, the appraisal fee was steep. Each appraisal cost a full 1,000 points. Just as I was about to catch up to that off-road vehicle, a large truck ahead suddenly flipped over. 3 zombies crawled out of the wreckage and began attacking the surrounding vehicles. But who would dare to stop at a time like this? Everyone just slammed the gas and ran right over the zombies, swerving violently to shake them off. This reckless driving immediately triggered a pileup. I glanced over but paid it no mind. Instead, I landed next to the overturned truck. Transforming into my human beast form, I grabbed the flipped side and forcibly flipped it right side up. The physical strength granted by the Azure Dragon fruit was utterly terrifying. Then, I climbed into the cab and drove straight ahead. When I reached the site of the pileup, I transformed back into the Divine Dragon and swept all the car wreckage blocking my path aside. The vehicles behind me drove through the path I had cleared and unconsciously began tailgating me. I saw this in the rearview mirror, but I didn't care. Let them follow if they want to, as long as they don't get in my way. Car crashes happen constantly, so I occasionally got out to deal with the zombies and clear the road. As long as you protect me, I can give you more money than you could ever spend. A wealthy-looking, pot-bellied, greasy middle-aged man gave me an ingratiating smile. Take one more step, and you die. The man was so terrified that he involuntarily dropped to his knees. It was as if the half-dragon youth standing before him was the absolute supreme ruler of the world. A slight release of Conqueror's haki froze the group of people who had been about to approach me. However, under the threat of death, some were still willing to gamble for their lives. A gorgeous, mature woman boldly stepped forward. Even in the apocalypse, she was dressed impeccably. "Hey, handsome, can you take me with you? You can do anything you want to me." But my only response to her was a cold, "Get lost." Just as I deactivated my power and was about to get back into the truck, a muscular man walked up from behind. "Sir, I am willing to pledge my loyalty to you." Seeing that I had no intention of stopping, he quickly pitched himself as fast as he could. "Sir, I've read plenty of apocalyptic novels. You may be powerful, but won't you need manpower to build a base? I, Meng Kuei, might not have much, but I've got plenty of brute strength. I'm a combat instructor. I can definitely be of use to you." I stopped in my tracks and looked back at him. Rubbing my chin, I thought for a moment. The man made a valid point. The order of civilization is on the verge of total collapse. To survive in the apocalypse, I need to build my own safe base to fight against the zombies. These zombies are evolving at an extremely fast rate. It will be hard to protect my family 24/7 relying solely on myself. Get in. Seeing my approval, Manhwa was overjoyed. His own parcels, luggage, and even his car. He abandoned them all, terrified that if he was a second late, I'd leave him behind. He didn't dare to get into the passenger seat, but instead used his physical fitness to climb into the back cargo bed. Manhwa's success gave the others hope. It seemed this big shot wasn't completely unapproachable. However, just as the greasy, middle-aged man opened his mouth, I cut him off. Even if I wanted to recruit people, I wouldn't take in too many right here. For the early stage, having Manhwa alone is enough. Besides, this guy's loyalty is still a question mark. It needs to be tested over time. Please give me a chance. My skills and my life will all be devoted to achieving your goals. This woman looks like a ruthless character. She might be capable of achieving great things. I gave the woman a deep look. Get in. The woman was ecstatic. But without my permission, she didn't dare sit in the passenger seat either. Instead, she discarded her image and struggled to climb into the back. I watched this scene, nodding secretly to myself. This woman might not be just a pretty face. The others behind them wanted to follow suit, but I released my Conqueror's Haki once again. The crowd collapsed to the ground in terror. A hardcore One Piece fan recognized this aura of a king. Oh my god. The boss has already awakened Conqueror's Haki. Returning to the truck, I started the engine and kept moving forward. After driving for a full 2.5 hours, I finally found a roadside service area. However, it was already overrun by zombies. Passing travelers originally wanted to stop here for gas and food, but seeing the massive horde of zombies entrenched here, they had to abandon the idea. But I had no such concerns. As soon as the large truck parked here, a group of zombies swarmed over. They couldn't get into the driver's cabin, so they tried to climb into the back to attack Manhwa and the beauty. The two cowered in the back in fear, not daring to peek out. I opened the door and instantly entered my human beast form. With a casual swing of my baseball bat, I smashed the zombies climbing the truck to death. The convoy that had been following me also arrived at the service area. They intended to wait for me to clear the zombies before scavenging for supplies. However, their appearance instantly attracted a large horde of zombies that lunged at them. Left with no choice, the convoy had to leave. Meanwhile, with 1 strike per kill, I quickly slaughtered all the zombies. I only left 1 zombie for Manhwa to practice on. Manhwa truly lived up to being a combat coach. His strength, speed, and combat reflexes were all quite good. By the time I finished refueling, he had successfully killed that zombie. After restocking our supplies, I finally asked the cheap-how-wearing beauty for her name. Although this woman looked fragile and useless with her thin arms and legs, ever since she got on my truck she had behaved quite well. She didn't scream or panic when the zombies climbed the truck. This raised my evaluation of her a bit more. My name is Lu Xiao. Seeing that I finally asked for her name, the woman answered hastily, "Sit in the passenger seat. You don't need to ride in the back anymore." My words pleasantly surprised Lu Xiao. This meant the young man had acknowledged her. Yes, master. Her form of address stunned me once again. She didn't even ask for my name, but directly addressed me as master. Being able to put down one's pride and status, people like this can survive much better in the apocalypse. Soon, we set off again. On the road, I received another call from my sister, Ao Yu. "Brother, where are you?" "Dad is trapped in his office at the hospital. I heard there are the most zombies in hospitals. Dad has no food or water. I'm so scared something will happen to him." Aoyu's voice was choked with sobs. Beside her, my mother's voice could be heard. "Xiaoxing, how are things at your school? Protect yourself. Mom and Dad will find a way to save you." "Mom, don't worry. I got Teacher Kaido's Azure Dragon Fruit. It's even stronger than a Logia type." "Brother, was the Azure Dragon in that video you? You looked so cool." Speaking of devil fruits, Aoyu instantly lost all her fear. My sister and I chatted on the phone for a full hour. After hanging up, I called my father. I told him I was now an ability user, and that I would be there to save him soon. I told him to stay hidden and not to risk running out. Sitting in his office at that moment, the anxious and helpless Ao Kang finally felt relieved. After telling me to be careful, he quietly waited for his son's rescue. By the time I drove the large truck into Biancheng City, it was already late at night. The streets were filled with zombies wandering aimlessly. In the silent night, the rumbling sound of the large truck was exceptionally harsh. The people who were still too terrified to fall asleep opened their windows one after another to check the situation outside. I didn't go home. Instead, I headed straight for the central hospital. Hundreds of zombies were gathered here. After getting out of the truck, I immediately entered my human beast form. Lightning wrapped around my baseball bat as I slaughtered my way through the zombie horde with abandon. Walking into the hospital, there wasn't a single living person in sight. "You two wait for me here. We'll leave once I get my dad out." After I left, Manhwa and Lu Xiao immediately hid in a nearby room and blocked the door with a pile of desks and chairs, waiting for my return. As I killed zombies, I picked up my phone to call my dad. "I've arrived at your hospital. Which office are you in?" On the other end, Ao Kang was hungry and thirsty, and his mind was being tortured by the zombies constantly banging on his door. Deep into the night, he was groggy and half asleep. Suddenly jolted awake by his phone, he saw it was his son calling, and instantly perked up. Be careful. There are a lot of zombies in the hospital. He didn't state his location, but instead told me to stay safe first. It wasn't until I made a video call to him, and he saw my heroic Dragon Man form slaughtering everything in sight, that Aokang finally felt at ease and pointed out the way for me. I soon arrived at the door of a corner office. 12 zombies were gathered here, constantly banging against the door. The door already had quite a few holes broken through it. If Aokang hadn't blocked the door with heavy desks and chairs, the zombies would have rushed in and torn him apart long ago. I swung my iron bat, smashing all these zombies' heads in. Then, I violently kicked the door open. Although my father inside was in poor condition, he was physically unharmed. That was the best news possible. As Aokang eagerly devoured the water and meat I gave him, he looked over the imposing Dragon Man standing before him. Is this the devil fruit ability you and Xiaoming were talking about? While trapped in the office, Aokang had used the time to watch many videos and read comments in the God Bestowed Spaces communication channel. He roughly understood some things about One Piece. Hee. I gave a goofy smile and casually battered another zombie that barged in to death. How about it? Your son is pretty cool, right? You brat, you look awesome. In the short time Aokang had spent fleeing, he had witnessed countless people being killed by zombies. Now that his entire family was actually safe and sound, it was already the greatest news possible in the apocalypse. On the way out of the hospital with my father, I could still see people looking out from the broken doorways of some rooms. When they saw Aokang leaving with a Dragon Man, and saw how incredibly fierce that person was, someone immediately called out, "Old Kang, old Ao, save me." Seeing his colleagues crying for help, Aokang hesitated before saying to me, "Xiaoxing, save them too. They are all colleagues. It's quite pitiful. Even if we save them, then what? Am I supposed to escort them home one by one? Even if they get home, will they really be able to survive?" Ignoring the shouts of this group, I grabbed my father and quickly left. Passing by Meng Kuei and Lu Xiao's room, after clearing out the zombies banging on their door, I smashed the door to pieces with my club and brought the two out. "Boss, master." Seeing me return, the two immediately greeted me respectfully. Aokang, however, was shocked. He looked at me in disbelief. A muscular brute and a stunningly beautiful woman. Why would such people be so respectful to his son? And he heard it loud and clear. That beautiful woman called his son master. Oh my god! Is my son into such wild kinks behind my back? Even with my thick skin from living 2 lives, my face actually felt a little hot at this moment. But I still pretended to be calm and replied, "Just 2 lackeys I picked up on the way." But Aokang's eyes clearly showed disbelief, with a look that said, "You're definitely lying." I was speechless and didn't plan to explain further. I took them back to the large truck, let my father sit in the passenger seat, and shooed Lu Xiao back into the cargo area. After returning home, my sister, Ao Yue, looked at Lu Xiao in astonishment. What a beautiful woman. And what did this woman just call my brother? Master? Whoa. What has my brother been doing out there? And he actually dared to bring her home. And that muscular brute? Even if he claimed to be special forces, I'd totally believe it. Yet he calls my brother boss. At this moment, Lu Xiao, like a dutiful maid, rested her crossed hands on her lower abdomen and stood quietly behind me. Meng Kuei was clearly a bit at a loss. He had an outgoing personality, but these were the family members of his boss. He didn't know how to interact with them. Eventually, my mother, Zhang Hong, took the initiative. "You must all be hungry. Come and eat." Upon learning her son was returning, she had stayed awake cooking through the night just so her son and husband could have a hot meal. She just didn't expect her son to bring 2 more people back. Because of this, there wasn't quite enough food, but fortunately I had prepared plenty of canned food in advance. I opened a few and put together a large feast. Seeing Meng Kuei and Lu Xiao standing stiffly to the side, I quickly called them over to eat. Meng Kuei was about to step forward, but Lu Xiao spoke up. "Just give me some canned food. I cannot eat at the same table as my master." As soon as she said this, everyone present was completely dumbfounded. Aou's suspicious gaze darted back and forth between us. "I know what this is. This is called flirting." Before she could finish her sentence, I flicked her right on the forehead. It hurt so much that tears welled up in her eyes, and she grabbed my arm and bit it. After dinner, I took the devil fruits out of my backpack. I still have 2 devil fruits here. One is the rumble fruit, and I don't know what the other one is exactly yet. You guys eat them. Meng Kuei and Lu Xiao were both shocked. They didn't expect me to actually have 2 more, and deep desire shone in their eyes. Aou curiously picked up the 2 fruits to play with, then handed them to our parents to see these magical fruits. However, after looking at them, Aokang handed them back. "Let Xiaoyu eat one. We're getting old. Even if we eat them, it would be a waste." "Yes, as long as we have you to protect us, we are completely satisfied. Such precious things, you keeping them will definitely be of greater use. I already have the Azure Dragon Fruit. My power will definitely improve very quickly. If you eat the fruits, you can also quickly kill zombies and then redeem hockey training methods. These are the true capital for surviving the apocalypse." However, after talking for a long time, my parents still refused my offer. "If you get more in the future, you can give them to us then. It's too much of a waste for us to eat them right now." I looked completely helpless and turned to look at Aou. "You pick one." Aou had been staring eagerly at them for a long time. Seeing it was finally her turn, she immediately got excited. She held up the 2 fruits, looking left and right. The rumble fruit is very famous. If I eat this one, it's naturally the safest choice. I don't even know the name of the other one. If it's just a normal zoan type, I'd suffer a huge loss. But after thinking for a long while, she still handed the rumble fruit back to me. I'll eat this one. You're actually not eating the rumble fruit? Logia elementalization is invincible in the early stages, and who knows what power that one holds. In the God-given space, a vial of demon cleansing potion can eliminate a devil fruit's side effects and allow a person to eat a second fruit. You're so strong now, you'll definitely be able to get that potion. This rumble fruit suits you perfectly. I'll just eat this one. Alright then, I'll appraise it first. If the ability is good, you can eat it. Appraisal. Fruit appraisal is a privilege unlocked only after reaching 1,000 points. Aoyue's points were currently at 0, so of course she didn't know. I had slaughtered my way from school to home, and went on a killing spree at the central hospital entrance. The zombies I killed had already exceeded 1,000, which was exactly enough to unlock one appraisal. But upon hearing that appraisal cost 1,000 points, she immediately objected. No, 1,000 points is too expensive. After saying that, without waiting for my rebuttal, she directly grabbed the fruit that looked like golden corn and stuffed it into her mouth. With a gulp, she swallowed it down. Seeing this, I was instantly shocked. I didn't expect Aoyu to eat it straight away. If this fruit was very weak, she wouldn't even have a place to cry about it. But Aoyue had already swallowed a piece of the flesh. What's done is done, so I could only pray that this fruit's power was strong enough. Everyone present stared intently at Aoyu, who had swallowed the fruit, closely watching her for any changes. Aoyue herself also nervously felt the magical energy inside her body. Soon, this energy covered her entire body, and her body began to mutate. Then, her entire body rapidly shrank, turning into a palm-sized white mouse with golden patterns. It's a zoan type. Everyone immediately understood the category of this fruit, but this little mouse looked highly extraordinary, making it highly likely that it wasn't a normal zoan. Brother, you guys are so big. What subtype is it? A normal zoan? An ancient zoan? Or a mythical zoan? Hearing the words mythical zoan, I was instantly overjoyed. It seemed my sister didn't lose the gamble. Mythical zoans all possess special abilities. What's your ability? Watch this. Saying that, Aoyu burrowed downwards, unexpectedly phasing right into the gap between the floors. Moreover, there were no bulges or damage on the ground, as if the little mouse had simply merged with the floor. Soon, the little mouse popped out from behind me and transformed into her human beast form. I solemnly introduced my devil fruit ability to everyone. My fruit is called the Zoan type Mouse Fruit Mythical Model Treasure Mouse. It has 3 abilities in total. First, it can pass through all earth and stone barriers, like burrowing underground or passing through walls. To me, it feels just like passing through a curtain of water. Second, I possess an independent treasure storage space that can store inanimate objects. As she spoke, Aoyue picked up a mop from the corner and stuffed it toward her chest. Everyone's eyes widened, watching that long and thick object enter her chest and completely disappear. It's actually a pocket dimension. Mother Zhang Hong even poked her head toward her daughter's chest and reached a hand in to feel around. It's gone. After that, Aoyue reached into her chest again and pulled the long and thick mop back out. How big is this space of yours? I cared most about this crucial question. As far as I knew, during the first God-given period, there wasn't any storage equipment. As for whether there would be any later, I had no idea. But this ability of Aoyu's, if the space is large enough, she can carry a lot of things without worrying about losing them. Right now, it's only 10 cubic meters. But as she develops her devil fruit powers, this space will gradually expand. I'm not done yet. I have one more ability. I was even more surprised. Burrowing, phasing through walls, and a pocket dimension are already god-tier skills. To think she actually has another ability. My third ability is treasure hunting. I can sense the aura of treasures, and lock onto their location based on that aura. Right now, my sensing range can cover half of Bian City. Holy crap. Hearing this, I almost cursed out loud. Burrowing, a pocket space, plus treasure hunting, I suddenly felt that my Azure Dragon wasn't that amazing anymore. But come to think of it, the Azure Dragon has many abilities too. First is the ability to control 3 natural elements simultaneously: wind, fire, and lightning. Second is the ability to fly by grabbing hold of flame clouds. Finally, it grants far greater strength than other Zoan types: defense, speed, and enhanced recovery abilities. Comparing the two, the Azure Dragon is much better suited for combat, while the Treasure Mouse focuses on non-combat utility. Aoyu's voice suddenly sounded a bit frustrated. But there are drawbacks too. Unlike other Zoan types, when I enter my beast form, my strength and defense are almost 0. I have absolutely no combat power. And when I enter my hybrid form, I also receive almost no boost to my strength or defense. They are exactly the same as when I'm in my normal human form. But my speed is incredibly fast. I estimate that the speed boost is at least twice that of other mythical Zoan types. Saying this, Aoyue still sounded very proud. This was indeed not a devil fruit suited for combat, but its utility might be even greater than the Azure Dragon. Treasure hunting. In this era, what is considered a treasure? It required almost no thought. There was only one answer: devil fruits. Of course, that was entirely the case. Secret realms will open in the future. This ability of AOU's will also allow us to reap more benefits in those secret realms. Right. Put this rumble fruit in your treasure space. It's only safe in there. After reviewing AOU's devil fruit abilities, I handed the rumble fruit to her and transferred 30 of my own points to each of them. I had them exchange the points for the training methods of the 3 types of hockey. Even without a devil fruit, as long as one trains hockey to the extreme, they can still become an absolute powerhouse. In fact, even with a devil fruit, if one's hockey is weak, they will eventually be eliminated by this apocalypse. Afterwards, I exchanged points in the God-given space for a standard military saber for each of them. Then, I led everyone out of the house. Downstairs, there were still countless zombies continuously wandering around. I transformed into my dragon-human hybrid form and knocked down a zombie with a single strike of my club, incapacitating it. Dad, use this saber to finish it off. Aokong hesitated a bit. Although the target was a zombie, it used to be a human. He couldn't quite bring himself to do it. Brother, let me do it. I'll show Dad how it's done. With that, she drew her long saber. With a single slash, she killed the zombie. A pungent smell spread through the air. Aokang frowned, but as a doctor, he wasn't really afraid. I repeated the process, subduing another zombie. This time, Lu Xiao took the initiative to finish it off. After the demonstration by the 2 girls, Aokang was finally able to do it himself. Then it was my mother, Zhang Hong. She also finished off a zombie. As for Meng Kui, he was more than capable of taking down a zombie alone. As a combat coach, his combat ability was much stronger than my family's. Now they already had the hockey training methods, and the training for armament hockey relies on extreme physical conditioning and endless combat. Tempering one's physique in battle is the foundation of becoming stronger.